Today's video is brought to you by URCD Keys, the best source for Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys at deeply discounted prices. More details at the end of the video. Well, I'm excited because a package just arrived, which was the final component to building the master system. This is also not a standard Byte Size Tech because I have no particular question to answer. There's nothing for my lovely wife to read off of the screen to address. Instead, I want to talk about why I am about to make an utterly ridiculous upgrade, and also to point out why you probably shouldn't. First of all, we run a tech channel. We do tech YouTube videos. We have a business justification for making ridiculous upgrades and building computers that maybe don't necessarily make sense to typical computer users due to cost or benefit or anything else, because having the experience with everything lets us give advice in videos, lets us give advice in live streams. It gives us a more well-rounded experience.
Especially when you give me something and you take it away.
I never do that.
Oh, yes, you do.
Ever. I've never done that, only 3 or 4 times max. Actually, we've lost count of how many times I've done that.
Yes, we have.
I love you, dear. Let me get you a Tim Tam. In any case,
5950X.
So my personal computer at home currently is an i9-9900K. Now, if any of you watching happen to have an i9-9900K, let me give you this advice. You should probably just keep that. In fact, you should probably keep that not just now, but through the next round of CPUs. Alder Lake 12th generation is coming out this fall. It's going to have 16 cores and 24 threads on LGA 1700. And then Zen 4 is coming next year on 5nm AM5 motherboards with more cores, more threads, DDR5 memory. Most people with an i9-9900K should skip all of that, and they should wait for Zen 5, and they should wait for Raptor Lake, or maybe even Meteor Lake. Let them iron out all of the kinks in the first round of the next generation. Most people would be pleased as punch. I get it. I understand it. Great CPU. And the same would be true if one of our viewers has, say, a 3700X.
Yep.
Most of you should keep a 3700X. Most of you should keep a 5800X. Or even,
39.
dare I say, an i7 8700K. 6 cores, yes. How many times have I given purchase advice where I've told people 6 cores in 2021 is dumb?
Well, that's a new build.
Say that louder for the people in the back.
That's for a new build in 2021, not something that you currently own.
There was a thread recently over on Reddit, on the PC Master Race subreddit, that took 2 of our Byte Size Tech videos, put the thumbnails side by side, and they proceeded to have a right royal time ripping into the titles. A, most of those people didn't watch either video. B, they completely missed the fact that those videos were 7 months apart. And C, they took no context whatsoever. What it was a bunch of kids bickering about and, impressing each other on the internet. I did scroll through it. I looked at it and I went, this is not worth my time to respond to. These are either goofballs who aren't taking themselves seriously or chuckleheads.
Oh, you found all the chuckleheads.
Oh, I did find all the chuckleheads.
All in one spot.
Well, the interesting thing is that one of the videos was why you shouldn't build a 6-core machine, and the other one was 6 cores are great. And the video that the 6 cores was great was talking about the fact that if you currently have 6 cores, you can still do most things. If you've got a 6-core chip, you might not need to replace it if it's working for you.
Oh, you mean context. You mean if they actually watch the video.
So if you're playing Fortnite or Overwatch or World of Tanks, and you currently own, say, a Ryzen 5 2600 or an i7 8700K, okay, rock on. Keep it. Enjoy it. Get your money's worth out of it. That's fine. Cyberpunk? Not so much. Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, yeah, you need more cores for that. I mean, it'll run on 6, but I've had way too many people who are serious Warzone players who have upgraded to like an i9 10850K, and they're just like, I had no idea what I was missing until I upgraded. And it really is a big, big difference. Not in frame rate, but in smoothness, responsiveness. Right. So I'm about to upgrade my personal machine at home, and the reason I'm doing this, pardon the long intro, but this is me here, it's a megabyte size tech, is I am a heavier than average user, and I like my computer to serve me. And this is something I think a lot of people don't think about very much is, are you waiting for your computer, or does your computer wait for you? Now, this does obviously require some money, and it requires your ability to pay for an upgrade, but my 9900K spends way too long at 100% usage.
It does.
I have a lot of stuff going on. I have multiple cloud syncs running. I've got Backblaze running. I've got my Synology sync running.
Multiple monitors.
I've got multiple monitors. And this is not video editing, by the way. This is not my YouTube computer. This does not do these videos. So I have an 18-core Cascade Lake X for that. So my personal machine is slammed. And so this I received 2 weeks ago. I got a deal on it.
You did.
This is a Ryzen 9 5950X. And this is overkill for the average person at home. As much as I love cores, I get it. 16 cores is overkill for the average person, but not for me.
No.
You've seen what I do.
I've seen what, yes.
But what arrived today, and it just arrived like an hour ago, which is why I'm so excited. This is insane.
Oh my gosh.
That is the new refresh X570S Aorus Master from Gigabyte. And the S is actually part of the chipset. The X570 chipsets have fans on them. The B550s don't because they don't provide PCI Express 4 to the chipset. This does PCI Express 4 to everything on the board, and it no longer requires a fan on the chipset, so it's silent. And it's a revised version of the Master, 4 M.2 slots, and like every other feature you can possibly imagine. Everything about this is super, super premium. It's not cheap. But if you're going to upgrade enough to be impressed. Upgrade enough. Don't make small baby upgrades. And I'll admit, I did a baby upgrade, and that's why I'm making an upgrade again so soon. A year and a half ago, my personal gaming PC at home was an i7 8700K, and I went from an 8700K to a 9900K. Now, I normally would not advise anybody to do that, but I had both machines. It was a sponsored build we did. It was the Stormtrooper Gigabyte build in the white Be Quiet case, and since I had it, it was either take that machine apart or take my old machine apart. So it's sort of like, here's an upgrade. It's one of those things that you could do when you play with PC parts for a living that is harder to justify if you're having to buy them all. Now, in this case, I want to upgrade enough that I don't have to do it again in a year. When I get my machine set just the way I like to not change it too much, believe it or not. Tinkering is tinkering, but your personal machine?
Well, when you tinker, things break. And when you're trying to use your computer, you don't want it to not work.
How long does it take you to reconfigure everything on your computer of icons and programs and to get everything just the way you like it?
A good amount of time.
And once it's there,
you don't want to touch it.
Especially if you've got a stable system.
And then you got to log into everything. Yeah, no.
And it's all the little programs you use.
Correct, like Snagit and all the little stuff.
And getting OBS set up just right, and getting this set up just right.
Correct.
And so once it's set, you kind of like...
You don't want to mess with it, because you got other things to do.
So I could go to a Ryzen 9 5900X, and I've got a 3900X at the office I could use, the one in the MSI big red case we built. But this is a lot, but this is a real upgrade over a 9900K, and my hope is that on a personal level on my machine at home, this lasts 3 years. Now, here's the funny part. How many people do you think are going to say, Tech is going to build himself a Ryzen 9 5950X 16-core 32-thread beast at home, and he's hoping to get 3 years out of it? Can you picture the responses to that already?
Yes.
Okay. This will last a lot longer than 3 years. But over time, it stops being premium. What did I say at the beginning? Do you wait for your computer, or does your computer wait for you? You could still use a 10-year-old i7 2600K. It'll still work. It'll still play games. It'll still function. But you're waiting for it. It's slow to update games. It's slow to launch games. It's slow to update Windows.
Yeah.
But it does work. Do you want to have a computer that you click and you update and you do something and you're like, I think people get used to it.
Yeah, they do.
And then they use a nice computer
Like I got used to it on the Ryzen 5 3600X.
at home.
At home, and then we switched it over to the 10850K, and it was like, oh, and not doing that again. No, and you can't have my 10850K for anything. Bugger off.
But what's funny about that is for a lot of people, they would say that a Ryzen 5 3600X 6-core 12-thread chip is all you need for gaming.
Well, put it this way. I don't remember the last time I had to sit there and wait for World of Warships to update.
Oh, World of Warships will be monstrously faster on your new chip.
It just goes like that now. I mean, I go to open up Warships and it's like, oh, it updated. Well, that's cool.
But that's because you went from a mid-level chip of a prior generation to the top-of-the-line current chip. She went to an i9 10850K, which is 10 cores, 20 threads, and she went from 4.2 gigahertz to 5 gigahertz. And, I mean, both machines had plenty of RAM. Both machines have NVMe drives. Both machines are very nice. But to anybody who thinks that an i9 does nothing for you over a Ryzen 5...
Whee!
I hope I don't have to mess with my personal machine again for the next 3 years. It's a little bit overkill.
Depends what games they come out with. Because you like to play AAA games. And if the games are truly going to cinematic quality.
Well, here's something else that will blow people's mind. Where'd it go? The other kit is upstairs. You know what that is?
Yeah, we have 2 kits of this G-Skill Trident Z Royal. It's the pretty stuff.
That is the gold. Here, let's just open it.
Oh, open it.
This is the very beautiful gold with the crystal on it. It really does look nice. I've seen people do videos. If you've watched YouTube videos of this and you've not been impressed, you got to see the stuff in person. It is absolutely... They even include a microfiber cloth. It's really... The stuff's expensive, but it's nice.
Oh, wow, a sticker even. Yeah, that's really pretty. And when it lights up, it's pretty.
When it lights up, this stuff is absolutely... So this is 64 gigs, and I have another kit upstairs that is 64 gigs. So my new machine is going to have how much RAM?
128.
How many people think you need 128 gigs in your personal computer at home?
Not very many.
I have been able to use 70% of my current 64 gigs on an 8-core machine. I'm not typical. I get it. I'm not normal. I am above average.
Grandpa's given you 2 years max and you'll be upgrading.
On my i7, I'm actually going to do a video. I'm going to do a parts overview and a detailed Y vlog on this separately on the main channel. I'm going to do a classic tech video build series on this. I need multiple videos to justify the cost of this insanity. Because my i7 8700K, which was the Cadillac Platinum build done back in 2018 for $2,000, it had 5 SSDs in it, totaling 2.5 terabytes. And that was a lot at the time. I mean, that was pretty bloody premium. The boot drive in that machine was a Samsung 960 EVO 250 gig boot drive. And that was reasonable at the time. And it had a bunch of SATA SSDs. It had 2 750 MX350s. It had a 500 gig Samsung and another 500 gig drive. And so it had a total of 2.5 terabytes on 5 drives. But managing game libraries and managing files across 5 separate drives, ugh, what a mess. So when I did the Stormtrooper build, I ended up putting 4 SSDs in there that were much nicer. The boot drive is a Samsung 970 EVO 1 terabyte drive. There's a 1 terabyte SU850 SATA drive. There's a 2 terabyte Micron 1100 SATA drive and a 2 terabyte Intel 660p. So there are 4 drives totaling 6 terabytes. I went from 2.5 on 5 to 6 terabytes on 4. Must be great, right? I've been dealing with Steam over here, games here, my OneDrive sync here. I've been playing the file shuffle game. So, to heck with that. My new boot drive, which, again, I don't necessarily recommend. I think it's a bit ridiculous, but, hey, I'll be talking about it for the next 3 years.
You will be. We have got 2 terabyte 980 Pro.
That is one of the fastest SSDs that exists for consumer systems. That is a Gen 4, 7 gigabyte per second, 2 terabyte 980 Pro.
Yep.
That is about as premium as it gets. That's my new boot drive.
That's what it says.
Now, I will also be putting other NVMe drives in here because there are 4 M.2 slots on this motherboard. But I grabbed one other. I picked this up on Prime Day for really cheap. I want one really big drive for my games.
Oh, 8 terabyte. It's an 870 Cuvo, SATA 2.5.
That is a 2.5-inch SATA drive, and it is a QLC drive, but it is 8 terabytes.
It is 8 terabytes.
I want a single large drive that I can put my games onto, that I'm not having to shuffle 3 different drive letters.
Shuffle. You can shuffle them.
128 gigs of RAM, 10 terabytes, plus whatever else I put on there. What? What are you saying that to me for? You should say that to them.
Someone said that your Trident Z Royal will do a better job than Lampy.
It's a lot, but I don't want to do this again for a while. I have my computer running just like I like it at home.
There you go. Jake likes his 5950, doing whatever he wants, when he wants.
With 0 lag. That's the point.
0 lag.
I don't want to compromise. I want my machine to obey me. I want it to be there for whenever I want, to do whatever I want.
Whenever I want.
Yeah, Andrew has that about right for those past videos. So,
what else do you want to say about this megabyte size tech video that we're doing?
It's expensive, but I've had expensive computers in the past. And the question is, what do you want out of your build? If you just want a modest thing to just do one thing at a time on a single monitor, this is grotesque overkill.
Well, it's all about use case at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think more people would benefit from knowing what their use case is and being okay with it and building to their use case.
Some people out there would be fine with an i5-10400, even today. And other people are kidding themselves by trying to put one together. Which are you? Well, without knowing the details. And that's why during our live streams, when people ask questions,
should we do this? It's like, well, what are you doing with it? We need more information.
How long do you want it to last? How many programs are you running? How many monitors do you have?
What do you currently have? Because what CPU and motherboard you currently have, what RAM, what power supply, what motherboard, what case, what cooling, it all matters.
If somebody were to ask us in a super chat, I have an i9-9900K, should I upgrade to a Ryzen 9 5950X? My typical answer would be no. If you then said, pretend it was me asking the question, well, I have Backblaze running, backing up a bunch of drives. I have 3 different Google Drives syncing. I have OneDrive syncing. I have my Synology NAS backing up to my computer. I have multiple monitors. I watch videos while I play AAA games. Yes, you should. And that motherboard is not one that I would recommend for most people. That was a lot of money.
It's heavy.
You know what kind of makes me excited about this particular build as opposed to most of the other builds I've done in the past year or two? See, this brings me back to the 2016 build I did in the first year of the channel when I did the $4,000 Ultimate build. That build has something in common with this build.
What?
Not one single part in this build
is sponsored.
It's
all what you would buy and put in it. This is a for you build. This is a tech build.
I've built way too many computers in the past 2 years that were built because it was what the companies wanted me to build. My current build, the Stormtrooper build, it's a lovely case, but it's the wrong computer for the case. The Be Quiet 500, it's fine. If you put a Ryzen 5 or an i5 in there, it's a great case. For an i9, it's a bit ridiculous. And in fact, that build wasn't done with the 99. It was done with the i7 9700KF because...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Remember that?
That was sponsored. You weren't happy about that.
Because that's the CPU they paid me to build it with.
And that's why you put the 9900K in it.
Oh, I was cheeky. I did it right in the video. I mean, I had the 9700K, and I said, so we're doing this build with this, but we're not. And I pulled out the 9900K, and I said, but this is really what you should all buy. However, now in fairness, they were fine with it. I sent it to them, and I said, just to give you a heads up, because I can't say it with a straight face, because frankly, the 9700K is stupid. And they're like, well, no, you covered it. It's fine.
We're 2 hours in.
We are?
Yes. Do you want to... What else would you like to say about your build?
I am excited to do a classic Tech Deals multi-part series. A parts overview, an hour-long Y vlog like I've done in the past with all the parts, a build guide,
Okay.
a system setup,
Okay.
and benchmarks.
Done.
This is gonna be 5 years post $4,000 Ultimate System build, where we've been, because the $4,000 build in 2016 was an i7 6800K, 6-core, 12-thread, and that machine had 32 gigs of RAM.
It did.
And that machine had one SSD in it, I think. It had the Samsung 950 Pro 512 gig drive. We have come a long way from there.
Haven't we?
Oh my goodness. I'm excited to do, because this is how I would build it.
Yeah.
Because this is for me. Hopefully you guys come along for the ride and enjoy the experience. And look for that series of videos over the next couple of weeks over on our main channel on YouTube, because this just came today, and this was the last part I was waiting for to do the build. Mm-hmm. And now I get to build a new machine. For me.
For you.
You want to help me?
Yes.
It'll be fun.
It will.
URCD Keys is the best source for genuine Windows 10 and Office Professional product keys that work the first time, every time. Get 20% off normal prices using our discount code BST for Byte Size Tech and the link in the video description below. $15 gets you a Windows 10 Professional OEM key that is a real product key, activates directly with Microsoft, use it forever as it links to your Microsoft account, and it works through reinstalls. Get a full copy of Office 2019 Professional Plus for about $50 that redeems at setup.office.com using your Microsoft account. It also works forever through reinstalls. We have been using URCD keys for almost 3 years now and recommend you do so as well.